JCO, of course, also generates some in-house material, including its famous studies, interviews, roundtables, readers' corners, and product news. This requires quite a bit of staff work.
We do a lot of periodic brainstorming with the editorial staff about what topics we would like to cover. So some of the things are fairly regular, like the Reader's Corner. We're just constantly looking for topics. Some of the other ones will just come up in our brainstorming sessions, like we should interview so-and-so on this topic because it's a topic of interest right now. So we're always looking for what are the current trends in orthodontics, and if we feel like we're not getting enough material on that kind of a subject, then we might try to generate some ourselves.
So the Reader's Corner editor will prepare some questions, and that survey gets sent out. And when I start on it is with the results of the survey, and I take all of the number of answers, and I do a count of to get a percentage for each of the questions, and also create some graphs that we might want to use to illustrate some of the more interesting points, and then send the graphs to the Reader's Corner editor and see which, usually prepare some extra graphs, and then those can be picked from which the most relevant or most interesting. The editor will write up some key points from the data, and then I go through it, edit that as we would a typical article.
So with the studies, we have the practice study we do every 2 years, and the diagnosis and treatment study we do every 6 years. There's really three elements to that. The first is the study itself. So for the practice study, that doesn't change very much. We want it to be longitudinal. The diagnosis and treatment study, we do solicit input from our editors beforehand to make sure we're asking the right questions. Then the tough part is the data collection. I mean, it's especially with the practice study, because it's a difficult study to complete. We're always stressing on getting enough responses, and we have to do quite a bit of outreach to try to get all the responses. And so if you're watching this, please, in future years, do the practice study in its entirety. That's the other thing. You get people who will do the first part and then kind of stop once we start asking some of the tougher to answer questions. And obviously we need as much complete data as possible. And then the data analysis, these are really big studies, so there's a lot of work that goes into the data analysis. It can take up to a week just to prepare the data to even be analyzed. And then, we have to write it up and generate the tables and the charts and everything for the studies. So quite a bit of work goes into making those.